And if you'd like to close your eyes, let's just do that and let the rest of the world turn all on its own. And as we sit here in our virtual living rooms, admiring one another through our eyes, our hearts, our souls, we start to gather the energies that start to move because we were generous enough to take time to come here today. So it's a beautiful opportunity to join together as the new moon is coming in, and it's bringing in a new beginning, a new cycle. And we get to dance in the moon energy on this call today. And just take a nice relaxing breath as you think about that for a moment and let that energy start to flow. And maybe there was something that you were thinking about earlier or praying about or wondering, how will it be? What's next? So on and so forth. Just allow this moment of silence to come to you and know that all is well and that whatever you're seeking is seeking you, and that this may be the place that it finds you. And so it is, as we step back into our call, our space is ready. So, okay, so thank you for coming today. And I know I've been feeling the new cycles. Anybody else been feeling like something new wants to happen, something old's going, something new showing up? Oh, good. I'm not the only one, right? So let Kim is joining us. Would anybody like to share about that for a minute, and kind of get that energy flowing as we delve into what's happening in your world?
I'm starting an Etsy store and I'm very excited about it. It feels really right for me.
Oh, how fun. That sounds like fun. What's your store going to be about?
It's called Serenity Station, and it's cards and gifts to inspire and encourage serenity. So
It's called Serenity Station?
yes.
Oh, cool. I like it.
Hoodies, sweatshirts, t-shirts, cups. Lots of, I found a store that I can put my images on and they'll do the work of taking the money and shipping it out. So I'm very happy.
Very cool. All right. So when will your store be open? When can we go?
By the end of the month.
Okay. So maybe by the next call, you'll give us a link or.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Good. And do you make the cards yourself?
In this case, I won't be.
Okay.
I could sell them, but it's really easy to just put the images on to their template and then they take care of it. So
Okay. Okay.
I'm making them via Canva right now instead of handmade.
All right. Nice. Hi, Kim. Hi, Guy. Welcome, everybody. If I haven't said hello yet. Kim, did you go blonde? No, your hair looks like it's blonder than I remember it being.
It's the summer and my hair literally just, since I was a kid, gets super blonde with sun exposure.
Okay.
And I'm in our place by the lake in Idaho. And so I'm out in the water and out a lot in nature.
That sounds great. That's fun. Well, good. All right. So who else? What's new for you? What's cycle are you wanting to start or are starting or letting go of? I'd love to kind of like use the new moon energy as our theme today of what are we bringing in? What are we letting go of? What? Okay.
So I've definitely been feeling new energy come in. And part of this is just an acknowledgement of you thanked us for our generosity. And I'm just thanking you, Jan, for yours. I'm definitely very much feeling a lot of excitement about new energy, and things that had felt stuck for a while are beginning to break up and find their place and starting to move. However, this morning, I think everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. I was almost exploding with frustration. I was just a terrible place to be in. And no, I was not very comfortable, and nobody was responding to text. Nobody was doing anything to, and I needed help because some of them were technological problems, and I can't fix them myself. So some of them got fixed, and what I wanted to acknowledge was, as soon as I clicked on the link and entered into the room, I just felt myself kind of and I felt myself quieten down. So yeah.
Love that. Love that. I did something a little different today before the call, so maybe there was some of that energy felt. I'm sensing maybe that's what you felt, but I started preparing for the call last night. Like sometimes I'm a little rushed and I do things last minute, so I tried not to be last minute. So last night I zenned the space, so I had, cleaning was involved, and flowers and arranging and that sort of thing for just the room here that I'm in. And the desk is all clean and dust is wiped off. And then right before the call, I did some smudging with some sage. So you might have felt that. Smells really good. And just blessing the space and clearing the energy. So I'm going to say that made a difference. So thank you for that, Megan. I want this to be a wonderful space to walk into. So do you have any new cycles or any old cycles you're letting go of, Megan, that you want to share about? And you may not. I mean, you
Yeah. Communication, I think, has come up a lot recently. Both my own and other people's effective communication. And I'm not suggesting a fix for that or anything. It was more just an awareness, and how I can communicate more clearly and effectively. And so be of service to a conversation that needs more clarity in communication. And also trying to understand how this was particularly around my sister, and just frustrating with her lack of communication. And so I guess I started to feel, well, maybe it's not her lack of communication. That's just how she is. That's who she is. She's very quiet, very shy, and it's not. So respecting her space, I guess the ultimate thing would be respecting everybody's space.
Mm-hmm.
And once that's in place, maybe I'm kind of moving along here, Jan, but just the way you said that you set this space,
Mm-hmm.
if I set a respectful place, and I'm just coming to this point right now, that will open doors, that will open communications, that will make me more receptive and them more willing. I don't know what will happen, but maybe it's just that being respectful of both the person and the space and the listening that does occur.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really, I love what you said there, because we don't always get the response or the communication in this case from people that we want. So we can't, we can make ourselves miserable not getting what we want, or we could set a space, like you said, just the way you said it, setting the space for them to step into, because the space will be more welcoming or more energy or more open, and there's respect in the space. That's great. Yeah, that gave me a whole new perspective on setting the space. Hey, David.
Hey, how are you?
Um,
How's it going?
Good.
You see the geese over there underneath the apple tree?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah,
I
they're
thought-
feasting on the apples that have fallen off the
Speaking of
apple tree.
space, we were just talking about space and setting space, and
Yep, I'm gonna sit over here just next to the geese. Hope they don't mind me invading their space for a few minutes.
okay.
It's good to
We'll
see
put
you.
your phone on mute so that we
I
don't hear
will.
background noise until you're ready to chat.
I'd like to make a comment in response to Megan.
Yeah.
I listened to a talk. It was a man who had a son with addiction issues, and he talked about it's not enough to say I love you. It's about the experience of love and how you create that. And I think Megan, you're speaking to what he was speaking to about making it a safe space to be open to a conversation, to let somebody feel safe to be able to talk if they're willing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that and what you were saying about that today too. Thank you.
Mm. That's great. Okay.
Yeah, I had a comment from Megan too. I remember way back a long time ago, I was kind of struggling with my mother-in-law because I always felt judged for working and raising my kids. I had a company when I started having children, and I had this feeling always like, we're just judged, with comments like, you two are always busy. Like, be hard for me to ever have a child in daycare, a grandchild. So it's like, okay. And I noticed that what happened is I became shut, every signal of my body language, although I was speaking nice, was protective and pushing judgment back that way. How dare you, kind of feeling. And that went on for a while. It wasn't a bad relationship, but I wouldn't call it good. And then I remember one day going, wow, I wonder if I changed an open space to just like welcome who she is, like whatever her experience has been. It's been a little difficult the way Jim and I have chosen to live our lives.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is. But I now have become like walled off, like without, I was never like, people would think, oh, it's a nice, respectful conversation. But inside, I know I was not creating a space of openness and feeling, bridging that communication. And I'm telling you, the moment I made that choice, the whole thing shifted. Like, I was like, it's the most powerful experience I had of changing within myself the way I showed up. And it wasn't like the language changed, the whole was in a different place. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was getting compliments like, I'm so proud of you, the kind of mother you've been. I was like, wow,
Wow.
really? So anyway, I applaud your journey with that. It's a really interesting place to sit and notice, become the observer. Like when I do this, what happens? Because that's what we can control, right? Obviously, not others. So your story brought that memory up really strongly for me at that shift.
Mhm. Yeah. We do have the power to shift other people by shifting ourselves. I mean, that's really the message I hear also in this is rather than me sitting waiting for somebody else to shift or wondering if they ever will or why they don't, the first place to start is over here with me to shift. So all good, helpful. I needed to hear this today, so thank you. Well, what
Thank you,
other
Jen.
things are you noticing in our conversation, or what new cycles, new moon energies, Jan? Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm hearing shift a lot, in our talk. And after our talk last month, which was so great being with everybody last month, I decided, okay, needed to make some shifts. And it didn't have to do with my personal relationship with my son. It had to do with my work and my Site K work and my website. And so what I decided shortly after our meeting was that I needed to make some shifts in my website, and I was not sure what I was going to do. All I knew was that I just needed to make a shift in there. And so I did about two or three just little brief changes in my words that I was using and describing the work and everything. And I have been so busy with Site K since then. I mean, just really, really, really busy. I mean, it's been so exciting. It really has been. So when I hear about the shifts, it's just like, yes, a tiny shift does make a difference. It really does. And either our personal lives or whatever we're doing with, with working with people and helping. So yeah, good.
Yeah. What is Psyche? Tell us about that.
Okay, so well, let me tell you my website too, because that'll help also. So website is www.creatingjoytoday.com. And Site K works with the subconscious and changing our thoughts and our beliefs and our perceptions. And so we have our conscious, we have our super conscious, we have our conscious, and we have our subconscious. And the subconscious is really what drives everything in our life, because it goes back many, many, many years that we will still be holding on to these old beliefs or old thoughts or perceptions of life and things that happen to us. And so through the Psych process and balances, we call them balances, we work with going into subconscious with our beliefs and then being able to shift that subconscious to where it now works with the conscious mind. Um, it's a very simple, easy process. We call it simple and we call it easy, but it's involved. So there's steps that you do, there's things that we do to bring up these old beliefs, because a lot of times we're not even aware of what's holding us back in work, relationships, finances, health. I mean, anything like that. So I say go to my website, and it really gets you into more detail with that. I don't know if you all are familiar with Bruce Lipton, Dr. Bruce Lipton, but he is a huge spokesperson for Psych K. That when he wrote his book, The Beliefs, he was stuck in writing that book, and he ended up meeting Rob Williams, who originated Psych K. and went through balances with Rob, and that shifted his whole life. And that's when he finished his book, that he was just stuck. So just, I mean, really great stories on there. So
Put it on
yeah,
your,
yeah,
put it in the
just
chat. Will you add it to the chat?
yes, I sure will. Yeah.
It
Yep.
always,
And if anybody, has any questions about anything, then, let me know. And I also do complimentary consults also.
okay.
I'll put it on there.
Can you do it with a group?
No, you can't. It needs to be individual, because we would need to go through a one-on-one process with really uncovering what is this deep thing within you, this old belief, this old concept. And so you can't do that with a group of people.
Okay.
Be nice if we could, but you can't.
Okay.
Oops, it's all caps on there, but it's not supposed to be capped.
All right.
Okay.
Who
I
else?
put it in capital letters, but it's not capital letters.
Okay. Thank
So
you, Jen.
you're welcome.
All right. And I'd love to have a session with you.
I'd be happy to do that. You just let me
I'll
know when
text
you're
you
ready.
afterwards. We can.
So just the way that you would do that is just connect with me on my website and send me your information, and then I'll get back with you and we will line it up.
Okay.
You will love it. I'll tell you that. It's amazing work.
Well, Alan Davidson, who's
Amazing work.
a friend of mine who's on the other side, beyond the beyond it now in his journey, but he used to do psyche. But I don't remember. It's been a long time. So yeah, I'd like to see
Yeah.
what that's like.
Okay.
Take a lot of sessions, or how is individual, I suppose.
Pardon me?
Does it take a lot of sessions, or it's individual?
It's really individual. You can have something that happens right at your first session that's beneficial, but I recommend with my clients that I'm working with do at least 2 or 3 sessions. And the reason why is because when you're doing that first session, you're kind of like in this conscious mindset of, okay, what's going on? What do I need to do here? And this type of thing. So it's still beneficial. But when you're doing your second one, you are totally familiar with everything, and you're just, you can just dive right in. So one session is great, but more sessions are even better. So
Excellent. Cool. What else? Who else has wants to chime in on our beautiful conversation today? I love the
whoops.
flow we're creating in our call.
Oh, hi, Jan. It's Guy here.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, good. My computer's in the sun, but I'm in the shadow, so I can hardly see the screen, but I think, let me see.
We
Yeah.
see you fine. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that the computer's in the screen because it's where the table is. Yeah, a lot of transitions, letting go, new beginnings, some transitions with friendships. A person I would say was one of my better friends, sort of locally, not really feeling that it's reciprocated in a friendship in a way. He's got other things going on, so just working that through, and with a couple other people too. And my birthday's coming up, so that's a bit tricky to have a birthday party, and things are transitioning with friends and how to work that. So I decided to just reserve a shelter at the park here by the lake, and then just invite like a ton of people, and then whoever comes. And then it's not there's not that individual intensity that if I have like a dinner party at home with 7 or 8 people, and then who comes and who doesn't come starts to be it can be dramatic. I think maybe everyone understands that when you have small groups and then there's something going on between the people, it has more impact. So I was delighted I was able to find the shelter by the lake and reserve that. So that's going to be great, and it's going to be not this Sunday, next Sunday. If the weather's good, it'll be a lake day, and we can do all kinds of fun things at the lake. So that's good. And what else? I'm wanting to go really deeper into my photography, and I have different people I follow on YouTube that I sort of mentor myself with, and I've been wanting to get more into documentary photography. I've been very shy of photographing people up until now, though I have been doing some sort of candid street photography. So there was like a big kerfuffle in Fairfield, in my town, over street photography. Some people complaining about the street photographers, and they don't want to be photographed when they're out at festivals and stuff. And so anyway, something came out of that. Somebody reached out to me and said, hey, I've got some projects that we could work on together. And she's kind of an activist working with local food and local rural communities. And so we could kind of partner where she might write the stories and I could photograph the stories. So that's kind of exciting. And then I've found a couple of documentary photography courses online. And the one YouTuber that I really admire has a new course. It's called Mitchell Kanashevich, and he's been traveling around the world last 10 years doing travel and documentary photography, and he's just truly, truly amazing. And I'm going to take his course, and I actually had a connection with him by email, and so that's kind of so that's coming together. I just want to really give it a go. I'd like to create some body of work that's kind of influent, that has some influence, that has some meaning. So that's coming together. And then physically, a few years ago, I had a very massive ankle sprain, and that did all kinds of other things to my body, and was unbalanced. And I've been able to walk, but walking more than an hour and things were kind of difficult. And I did start taking some courses with a friend that teaches somatic movement, and I've been taking his courses, and he had a new back course that I did in January. And I've also been doing an exercise called Zen Swing, which you can look up on the internet, which is kind of pretty cool. So I've been doing these two things, and my physiology is transforming quite a bit. Like I went out dancing at the festival the other day and was really throwing my body around like I haven't been able to throw it around for several years. And it's still not perfect, but so that's pretty exciting. And so I want to set a goal for myself. I routinely do hikes that are about maybe 4 or 5 miles, which is really, that's really not that much, but I'd like to double that and see if I can do an 8-mile hike and then get up to a 10-mile hike just as a physical challenge. And okay, and my adventures, which I talked about last call with the gift economy, are kind of are always exciting. I'm receiving a lot of kind of food from friends' gardens and things like that. Like most of my produce is sort of coming through gift now, which is pretty cool at this time of the year. And I was in a gift circle the other day, and there was something that I needed. I was going to buy. I could order it online, and it's like $40 or $50 or something. And it's kind of obscure. And I thought, well, I'll just ask. And I was in quite a small group, about 8 people, and it's actually a foot pump for my inflatable kayak. And I just said, well, that's an ask. That's what I'm looking for. And somebody had one like that fit kind of perfectly. And that was really like a marker for me, kind of realizing that with the gift economy, that, if I ask, unless I ask, I don't know if it's out there. And it could be out there, and somebody doesn't need it and is willing to gift it and so forth. And so that's pretty cool. It's really fun to see things move around like that without the transaction of money involved. And yeah, and just on another great thing that's happening is my son is planning to go to Africa in October for a few months, and he's been hustling to get work to save all his money for that. And it's really he's really stuck for a while, but now it's really going well. He's getting lots of jobs, and he's got most of his money already saved for the trip. So I'm pretty excited for him. He's 22, so it's going to be a life-changing experience for him to go to Africa for several months.
Yeah. Wow. What part of Africa?
He's going to Ghana. He's been to Ghana before. And he has a friend there. So, and that's a nice thing, you know, he'll have an inside track. He's not going as a tourist, as you know, he'll have local people showing him around. So
It's a big place. Okay. Awesome, Guy. When's your birthday?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm proud of him that he's my birthday's on Sunday, the 27th. So it's a week Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah, 49 again.
Hey, I just turned 49 again too. I'm on July 27th, so
Oh,
I
wow.
don't think I believe you.
Happy birthday.
same to you.
I just want to say, Guy, I think it's so exciting how you're pursuing your photography interests. I mean, that's really new beginnings and moving forward. Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, it's photography is pretty challenging. Like it's one thing to get good and taking beautiful pictures and things like that, but to go like deeper into it and create meaningful work. And when I look at this guy Mitchell, I mean, he's traveled all over the world and he's like up the mountains, staying with the goat herders for a month and living with the families and getting pictures that are just telling stories that you just you wouldn't know unless he was been there and got that close. And like going to that deeper level, it's not easy. It's way beyond the technical aspect of it, you know, just being good at composition or lighting. It's kind of going deeper within yourself and finding out what stories you can tell and being able to get close to people to do that. So thanks.
Hey, by the way, before the call started, I also felt Carrie Bell's presence.
Oh, great.
I felt him say, I'll be on the call. I'll be on the call.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw Colleen. I haven't seen her for a couple of weeks, but I'll probably see her again next week.
Yeah, she's okay, I hope.
Yeah, she's doing fine.
Good. New moon, new cycles, new you. How's that impacting everybody? David, or who hasn't shared yet? David, I don't think you have, or anybody. Floor is open.
I can share. It's good to be here. Thanks. And Guy, it was a wonderful, excited about that, your journey into photography. That's something that speaks to me too, just to be able to get out and tell the story into people's lives. I was always drawn to kind of get into the indigenous cultures and you know, just study with the people, maybe somewhere down the line. But your gift economy sounds fascinating. So I'm a member of Ken Honda's Aragata Living Community, and last week so they're celebrating their second year anniversary, and Reverend Michael Beckwith was the keynote speaker. So he and Ken had a hour-long conversation, and it was so delightful. And Ken asked him about this concept that he's going to write about soon. It's about having, you know, giving people a living wage, basically, X amount of dollars to just, yet it would have an expiration date. So you keep the money cycling in the economy, yet it would cover your basic needs of food and stuff. And the Reverend Michael said that there was a village in Germany that did that for a while, printed their own money, and they had an economy and a culture that didn't have any of the other money stresses that the normal economies have. And then Germany came in and found out, and they said, no, you can't do this, and made them go back to the regular monetary system. And then in a short while, the scarcity mindset and life came back into it. So I thought the gift economy seems kind of similar. You know, it's gifting each other with your own gifts and taking some of the stress of money out. It's fascinating. So in the community, we're discussing different ways of kind of doing something that as an experiment within the ALC, using when people do kind acts and and add value to the community, then they get a badge or something, but and then it would go towards a free course from Ken or something. But just an interesting concept that's going forward to take the scarcity mindset and the money wounds away from people. So you talk about the gift economy, made me think of that concept that we're just kind of giving birth to in Ken's community.
I mean, there's a course called Living the Gift by Charles Eisenstein.
Okay, I know that. I know.
Yeah, you can just look that up. It's Charles Eisenstein, Living the Gift, and it's, a pay as you may kind of deal. So
I like that. I like that. I'll share that with the group. Thanks. That's good.
That's really cool. Pay as you may. It's interesting.
Pay as you may. Yeah.
All right.
I like it. That's all I really have.
Else for you, David?
Yeah, that's about it. I'm just gonna listen. I'm on my lunch break, so I don't know how much longer I have. So I'll just pass the baton to whoever wants to
You're
chat.
under the magic tree there.
Yeah, I know. I'm enjoying my goose friends over here. They're just happy. I love geese. They have so much to teach us. Okay. Thank you for letting me share. Bye.
Thanks, David.
I guess I'll jump in.
Yes, please.
So new cycles. Today is my 37th wedding anniversary. So that's another cycle. Yeah. My husband and I have been together 40, married 37. And normally he'd be with me today. I wasn't planning to be on the call, but we continue to deal with some last month it was losing my good friend to that fatal hiking accident. This month, Jim's mom's health has really gone substantially downhill. So he's had to fly home. We live in Colorado in Boulder, and then we have a little tiny place on a lake in Upper Idaho that we were planning to be here for a couple months. And anyway, he's there with her now, just trying to get some more, they need substantial care at home. She's 88. His dad's about to turn 92. They've lived independently all this time, and they love being in their home, and they've had really, really good health till this is like a huge shift. So he and I are, he's there physically, his sister's there, and we're really helping them navigate a new chapter that was very sudden. So I feel like I'm in the midst of my own new chapter, and then through supporting this situation and some other things that are occurring, which seems to be challenges with friends and family, helping several people navigate their own new chapter, like very sudden changes for several people that I'm very close to, and my husband's very close to. So I suddenly have alone time, which I haven't had. It's been just a lot of holding of people, but now I physically have alone time in a very quiet community and I'm right on water, which is extremely healing for me. So it's been a gift, that piece of it. And what I'm finding is that what I'm letting go of is just the need to have to feel like I have to hold it all, fix it all, solve it, but rather being able to be like, wow, there's a lot of things I can do to energetically support situations that aren't draining for me. They're not, it's just, I have certain gifts that are my natural gifts that I can give that actually energize me. And if I come from that place, that's very different. And because I have alone time, one thing I'm finding, I am sleeping a lot more. It's like I'm very disciplined. I usually get on with a meditation group and a breathwork group and been doing that. And now I roll over and I go back to sleep for 2 hours and I do my own meditation time. Like I just have to be in my own rhythm right now. And the other thing that was emerging very strongly before my friend's sudden fatal accident was writing. Like, I know I'm in a healing time. I know I'm in a next chapter time. And Jim and I actually came here and said, wow, we now can start dreaming our next chapter together. He's about to sell his financial practice. I am being, I love teaching and doing different things. But right now, because of what I've been through the last decade, I recognize I'm in a real healing and letting go, and I'm being called to serve in ways that aren't formal, but that I'm able to use my gifts in a way that, like I said, is just energetically supportive and not draining for me, but it's kind of awakening in me my own recognition of why I've been brought here, if that makes any sense. So yeah, so I am waking up just like literally going, thank you, Creator, for however I'm getting alone time on a lake right now for 10 days, and I'm sleeping, and I'm things are awakening, and I'm able to write friends and make that phone call that feels good and just tune in. And so, yeah, that's when I feel called to share this morning. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
So many pearls. I'm just writing.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
Kim,
Yeah.
I didn't know you were in Boulder, so I'm in Littleton.
Oh, wow.
So we are just right around right around the corner from each other.
Wonderful, Jan.
And also, I wanted to tell you too, because I know what transitioning is like with parents and trying to decide on care and assisted living or independent living or home care or whatever. So I was an executive director for an assisted living and independent living community for 15 years.
Wow.
And so I have a lot of experience and knowledge in that. And I'll put my number in the chat for you, my
Awesome.
phone number. And if you want any feedback or anything like that, I'd be happy to give that to you.
So appreciate that, Jan. It's, as you know, very firsthand. It takes a while to recognize that support is needed, to open to that. And thankfully, I mean, it's been weeks of working with this. We found someone really good that they love. And there's a recognition that I told my husband, we got to hold the space. She might need overnight care, which is a whole nother thing of palliative care. So
Yes,
I said, we've got to have that on the ready and those conversations happening while supporting her. Thankfully, since my husband arrived, there's been she was losing hope. It's happened fast, but she's made some good strides in her health and some of this recognition of how it might work where they can still be home. And so thank you. I'm going to grab that from the chat.
Okay. And lucky you with having the wonderful time to just be.
Oh my God.
I mean, I love how the universe provides that time for us. you know, when we need it, and that we can just, and like what you're saying, sleep, you know, because you have to think about all that you've been through emotionally and everything. And I think we just, at times, we just don't realize how tired our body is and our mind is and our feelings are. And because we're just on the go, go, go. And then finally, when everything settles down, or we have that time of being alone, it's like, whoa, whoa. So I'm glad you're taking advantage of it and turning back over in bed and going back to sleep and saying, I'll get up when I
It's
want
like, oh my
to.
God, I barely made this call. It's 10 o'clock here. The call starts like, oh my gosh, I got to get on the call. I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to be up for hours prior.
Beautiful. Well, I can relate to so many things. I would say 37, if you add that together as a 10, which is a 1. So in numerology, it's kind of like a new beginning, number 1. Anyway, just for fun, I like to look at numbers. I love that you're having that alone time. Yeah. Looks good on you. Look fantastic. Keep on.
Interesting, because I have my sister found us a caregiving job for a gentleman whose wife is going to Sweden, and when I hear you talk, I'm like, well, this could be a time of alone time, but you know, there's, I guess he goes to bed around 7 and gets up around 6 or 7. We were there the other day, and he's got a dog that I was allergic to. My eyes were itching, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to manage that part, but I do think it will be a change of scenery for me. And we're working it out as a team so that we take care of all the family members who need to be taken care of right now. But
Did you say you were going to Sweden?
no, I said the lady of the house is going to Sweden, and we're taking care of her husband
Okay.
and her dog.
I heard you were going to Sweden to take
No,
care.
no,
I'm like, whoa. Okay.
no.
Gotcha.
So it's a little challenging. Some of it doesn't quite feel like alone time, but I think there will be some of that. And I'll be thinking of you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the idea.
I've been helping a friend recently. A dear friend of mine from Houston moved to Santa Fe right after I did, not too long after I did. So that's been probably over 10 years. And then something happened, not to elaborate, and I didn't see her for 8 years. I didn't know where she was. I didn't know if she was alive. I have no way of knowing if she was okay or where she was. Anyway, this is on Easter of this year. Easter, the Sunday before Easter, actually. I woke up and I'm like, I need to go to church today. I don't go to church, by the way. Nothing against it. I just don't right now. But like, I just feel like it must be the Easter spirit. I need to go. And so I didn't know where to go because, you know, I could go anywhere. But I'm like, well, I think I'll go to the one I'm most familiar with. And that was Unity Church. So I went, and there was a lady that I saw from years ago, who I knew from years ago, that also knew my friend. And I asked her, do you know anything about where she is? And she did. She says she's actually living in Albuquerque. And she says, I think I have a phone number for her. And I said, would you give it to me? She says, yes. When I get home, I'll contact you. Long story short, my friend and I reconnected after 8 years. She was living in Albuquerque in a rehabilitation center, several health problems. And I just started going to visit her. We started talking on the phone. We started texting. We'd go to Flying Star and drink iced tea on the patio and, you know, have salads together. And and she needed some support, you know, there were some things she needed help wise. So I've been helping her get that. And she's a wonderful manifester. We've been, you know, like, well, what is it you want? You know, it's like, we're just like, this is happening. This is happening. Oh, you want that? This is happening. So long story short, one day she, about a month ago, she says, I'm packing up, I'm moving. I said, where are you going? She says, Santa Fe. The same facility there had a spot in Santa Fe. She's now in Santa Fe. So now we can go to lunch and breakfast and coffee. And yesterday I helped her get her eye appointment, you know, fulfilled on for cataract surgery. And today she had a dental appointment. So she needed some dental work and has been waiting a long time for this. And she was set up to go at 8:30 this morning. And she had a ride from the place where she lives. She called me at 7:30. They can't take me. So I'm like just getting up myself, and I throw it together. I go to pick her up and go back over to, we're 45 minutes late. They wouldn't take her because she's 15 minutes past. I mean, not 45. She's 15 minutes late for her appointment. On the way over there, when she told me on the phone, I need you to come back and pick me up. Their grace period is 10 minutes, not 15. And I'm like, I'm going to blow in someone's face on that, right? Like I'm going to like chop heads. Like, so I'm driving, I'm going, who can I talk to? You know, like I haven't gotten there yet, thankfully, but then I'm like, wait a minute. Is that really the best approach? You know, because they're going to work on your friend if they do let her in. They're not going to be mad at you. And so I walk in the front door. Nobody's at the reception. So I just walked in the back. And they're like, who are you? And I'm like, listen, my friend needs to be seen today, not tomorrow, not next month, today. Well, I'm sorry, but she was late and she went past our grace period. And I said, I know all that, but I'm asking for leniency. This is a woman that lives in a nursing facility, has been waiting for 2 years to get this appointment. And her facility dropped the ball on the ride, and you're going to make her wait another month? Because I'm like, come on, give me some grace here. I need you to understand she needs this. And they're like, well, and then somebody else comes out and explains the policy. Well, it was past the grace period of 10 minutes. And I went, I know. But I just went in there with my full intention that this is going to happen today. And the doctor came out and he says, she'll have to wait about 45 minutes. I said, she's been waiting 2 years. 45 minutes is nothing. She'll sit and wait till you're ready. But I want her to get seen today. So that's where she's at. She's getting her appointment today. And I was just, you know, what I learned from my friend and everything, that sometimes we have to ask for grace. And you have to not chop heads, but, you know, just come from the heart. That's really what I did. Come on, just appeal to my understanding of what you've got to deal with, but can you understand my position? Set aside the rule. Okay, we know what your rule is. However, let's look at this situation and people involved. And so it was a big blessing this morning. I guess they're working on her. And she'll be maybe joining our call next time. But that's my story about Patty. Patty's and I've been having a blast doing things together. She helped me shop for the red sofa. We had a blast that day. So, and then the other thing is my relationship is over. That's the sad news. it just imploded. That's all I can say. I had 2 great months. It was just like, thought this is my forever guy. But apparently new moon, new cycles is gonna play out in my romantic life. Hopefully not forever, because I don't know how many of these I can go through again. But anyway, just send some love from my heart.
Sorry to hear that, Jan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Definitely took me by surprise. In my world, at my age, I just turned 70 on my birthday, by the way. So the moral of my story on relationship is, it's got to be, the pieces have to really fit, the major pieces, and not just a few of them, a lot of them. But the one piece that didn't seem to fit was my stand for the world of the divine feminine and being revered. That's really what it boiled down to for me. And I'm unwavering when it comes to that. And that's not easy to hang with. I know divine feminine energy is strong, but I can be bending, but I can't sell out. Megan?
Jan, this might be something that you don't want to answer, and that's fine. But my experience of you when you introduced him, you so happy. It was like you were effort. It was like this.
Really happy, yeah.
Yeah, very happy. And now I definitely feel your sadness. So how do you can you hold the happiness and the sadness and let go?
Well, the conversation today was really helpful around holding space. Just like the experience even with the dental office, okay, hold space for her getting her appointment without spewing my, negativity all over them that come from the heart. So how do I apply that to this situation? I'm just going to hold space for what is and what isn't. Is that what you mean? I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just what I wrote down, respecting everyone's space, okay. Making it a safe space to feel whatever. Those are some things I noted from our call. But shit, it's just hard. It's hard.
Yeah, just holding you in our hearts, Jan, because yeah, that's a lot to move through, from that really joyous place and thinking, wow, this has all come together, to the realization that it wasn't. And so it's like that. I appreciate, I'm similar to you. I have non-negotiables in my life, and I just have recognized that there's certain things that, as my own self, is not something that I'm willing to sacrifice in the name of something else. And I think, I've been blessed to find a man at a young age that it worked, that he can hold that space. And I would say that is a space holding thing, but it's, and vice versa for me to him. But I know, I guess my reflection to you is you're so freaking fabulous. So the hard thing, it's going to take a really super duper man that is that secure in himself to be able to hold the space for you to be all that you are, and that you just, so I understand. I know you had that in your long-term marriage, and then finding that again, because so I'm just holding that perfect, that wonderful, perfectly imperfect human that perfectly fits with you is still there, and when the time is right. So just holding you in our hearts.
Thank you. Thanks. I will take those words. As my friend tells me to say, thank you, I know it's true. Yeah. So if you have one more minute, folks, I wanted to ask you about the future of our calls. I had kind of advertised this originally as a summer series, and summer is school starting, so summer's over, kids. And are you getting the value you want enough to go for a fall series? Do you want to go forward and meeting every month? And how could it be better? There's anything else that you would love to see in our group, I'd love to know about it. And you can think about it, let me know. But if you're game to go forward, I am. Okay. No, I mean, it's not like you have to come every time, but it's kind of getting to be a juicy group. I love it. Oh, y'all are like my people now. So I'm just looking at my calendar. Today's the 3rd Wednesday, and the 3rd Wednesday be the 20th.
The 20th.
How about the 13th? Because I have something on the 20th. That would be the 2nd Wednesday of September.
Sounds good.
Okay. Same time. Just make a note in your calendars. Be a Wednesday, September 30th. 13th, 1-3. All right. And always welcome to hear any thoughts on how you would like to see more, or how I can support you. Let me know.
Thank you, Jen. I'm sending you love and sunshine, and the dance that you are on, may it continue, and may you dance gracefully and abundantly always.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, everyone. It's
right.
been a joy being with you.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Blessings. Love to you, Jan.
Thanks, Annie.